Cool. All right. It says I'm going. Sweet. This is Sarah, and I just spent the past 20 minutes working out whatever bug I ran into the last time I tried to stream earlier, much earlier. Oh, now it says I'm live. Pick up your mind. Okay, this is Sarah. I have all my stuff ready. I spent quite a bit of time getting everything sorted before I started this, just so that it went smoothly. I was going to impromptu Faux my head earlier this, I guess, spring, and stream that, but that didn't end up happening. And YouTube did this thing where it is kind of trying to force everybody to use the new version of YouTube Studio, which I was kind of reluctant to do. And I ran into a bunch of issues actually getting all of my streaming stuff connected, but that's like fixed now. I think I actually wrapped my head around what it wanted me to do, and in the future it'll just be smooth sailing and I won't be all weird and awkward and yeah, breaking stuff. Hi guys! Hi Micus! Hi Michael Myers. You can see me? Okay, good. Hopefully you can hear me too. That's good. Good. I know it has been a while, hasn't it? But yeah, I'm gonna sit here and chat with you guys for a minute before I get going, doing the thing that I was going to do today. Just because it has been a while. I don't think I've done a proper stream yet, really, this year, if I'm correct. And it's July already, so that's kind of really bad on my part. I apologize for that. But the circumstances have been kind of less than ideal here. I haven't really had a whole lot of creative energy, and I haven't really been working on my usual projects either. Life is kind of doing other stuff, as I'm sure everyone knows, because we're all living on the same crazy timeline. Am I gonna tell you stories? I might. I gotta fill all the awkward gaps with something, so I might in fact do that. Today though, I'm making a faux neon fixture, which is what the description of this stream says right now. I did this last summer. I made like an L-wire version of the famous Blade Runner noodle sign from the beginning of the movie. It's about this big, fits nicely in the lab. Super easy to do. It only requires that you have access to a 3D printer, can download Fusion360, and get your hands on some L-wire, I guess. This stuff's pretty inexpensive. I was able to get 10 different colors, each 9 feet in length, for $36, and that's including the battery boxes, the little transformers that you need to power them with battery. That's just a really good deal. I found them on Amazon. So if you just type in L-wire on Amazon, that's one of the, I guess, recommended packs that you can get. Yeah, and you can do a lot with that. I was able to make a bunch of cool stuff last year. This week I ordered another batch of that, and I'm going to use all of it specifically for making neon sign fixtures for my lab, so that I just have more interesting stuff going on. And later on, not during this stream, but probably in the near future, I'm going to work with Mark to create a controller board so that I can actually animate the signs and toggle different segments of the neon on and off so that they're animated, like a little bad GIF, kind of like a lot of neon signs are. And yeah, and then be able to just plug it into the wall. Because right now I'm kind of limited to the crappy battery boxes that come with it, and these are fine. It allows them to be mobile, of course, but I don't want to just, have to turn on a bunch of battery boxes and burn up batteries every time I want my neon on. So they'll be added to my master switch in the lab, which all of my cool colored lights are connected to. Yep. I don't know. But I'll get into that in a second. I'm gonna chat for a minute. How have you guys been? Like, how is everyone doing lately? This year has been crazy, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm happy that I can report as of right now, Mark and I are both doing all right. Everyone we know is doing all right for the most part and seems to be pretty safe. That's not to say the same for the rest of my country, but at least everyone I know seems to have a good head on their shoulders and is doing all right. Yeah. But before I just go off on a tear, I'm gonna actually post that I'm streaming so people can find me. So bear with me. So, stream URL. Mm-hmm. Nope. Okay. So if I want to, I still don't know what I'm doing on this. I'm like, okay, so I want to share the link to my stream. Is there any fast and easy way to do that on the dashboard? No, of course not. Yeah, streaming is a very taxing thing to do energy-wise. Like, it's fun because I get to socialize with all of you guys. But I've been in a funk lately, so I haven't really had the energy to, like, I don't know, kind of, I guess it is kind of like perform for like an extended period of time and dish out knowledge coherently. So I've kind of avoided it, but I've been in a lot better spirits lately. And I do need to get back on the horse because there's all this stuff that I want to do. And like I said, I haven't really been working on anything this entire year, really. I was very happy. I was proud of myself. By about February, I had my whole year booked up with cool things that I was excited to do. Like lots of travel, lots of like social things, exhibitions and stuff. And I was like, wow, I'm like adulting really well. This is good. I feel very accomplished. And then by about like everybody, like mid-March when everything shut down, by my birthday, halfway through the month, all of that, like literally everything got completely canceled. So I went from kind of having a full plate and a bunch of stuff to work towards to having nothing, and it's been that way ever since. So I've been in this vacuum for the whole spring and summer. Yeah. Let me look at the chat. Sarah can't do two things at once. COVID masks. I can teach you how to make COVID masks. Neon enhanced COVID masks would be awesome. I got a horse? Wait, what? Hi, Dave. But yeah, I did make, this is the mask I made. You know these, right? Like the plague mask? I made this out of, I don't know what this is. I think it's like fake leather. It's like vinyl or something. But I put a chicken doodle on it. And the wattle, the chicken wattles on the sides. So if I put this on my actual, like, person. Oh, it fits over my glasses. That's nice to me. I can actually, this isn't, like, I probably still have to wear a N95 mask underneath this, but at least I can walk around the grocery store and look appropriate for the times. Yeah? I'm just now seeing myself in, like, the delayed video feed. I haven't actually seen what I look like in this thing yet. That's freaking hilarious. Oh my god, it's hot in there. Yeah, I found a pattern that somebody posted online, like, right at the beginning when quarantine first dropped. And it was for, like, a quilted version of a plague mask. And I was going to do the quilting because I've never actually quilted before in my life. And it seems like, I don't know, like everyone needs to have a quilted plague mask. That's absurd, right? And I kind of got lazy, and I took the major shapes of the pattern and just cut them out in this material, and it was a lot faster and easier. But it's just like baseball stitched together, and there's like an actual lining on the inside. So yeah, I don't know. I could put like L-wire on this and have a glowing chicken plague mask, and then I could wear that out. I mean, that's the dystopia we want, right? It's the dystopia where people wear absurd shit like that out to get groceries. I was doing something. Okay, so, all right, I'm going to find the actual link to the stream, like the actual stream, not just my YouTube channel, and then I'm going to post that on Facebook and Twitter so that people know that I'm doing stuff. Okay. This is me being good. Being a good girl. What are you doing, Sarah? The neon, what do I say? I am doing things. That's descriptive. The neon stream is happening now. It's a nice, gloomy, stormy day. The scene is set. For some neon making. There. Cool. Post. There. What else have I been doing? Okay, so Mark officially got laid off from Blue Man because Cirque isn't doing too well. I can start out with that. He kind of foresaw that happening from right out of the shoot, so it wasn't too traumatic for him. And we both had kind of been dying for a break, honestly, for a while now. Because I have this like really unhealthy habit of instead of like dealing with shit in my life, I just make sure that I'm really, really busy and I fill my plate with like commitments. And if anyone asks me to do anything, I always say yes, so that I'm just constantly running headlong into projects after projects after projects, and I'm not really giving myself time to breathe and learn anything about my life. And it feels cosmically like the universe just sort of punched me and probably Mark both in the face and caused us to have to slow down and think about things. So he's been gardening and cleaning, which is good because, as you know, we live in this semi-renovated house that's kind of been in the same stage of renovation for the past like 7 or 8 years now since him and I met. Certain rooms have gotten a lot of attention, others have not, and that's bad. Like we need to get on with that so that the living space is actually like quasi-habitable. Oh, that's not the link. You got this, Sarah. 2 things at once. So he started gardening. I think both of us from the get-go decided that we were actually going to start putting living things in the backyard. So we bought a bunch of seeds and we planted a bunch of stuff that actually frickin' grew, which is amazing because This is the desert, and things don't like to live here. Not easily. And we made some cilantro, radishes, and a bunch of really big, happy sunflowers in the backyard. And I made a terrarium with a rose plant in it. There we go. Hashtag Troubleshooting. That's what I am. Tweet. There. Okay. Now I have to find you guys. Where did I put you guys? Oh, there you are. Wait, nope. I really do need to get another screen. Ah, there you are. There's the chat. Hey guys! Oh man, you're eating cheese? Bob Joe? See, I should have grabbed like a charcuterie plate and like put that next to me while I was doing this. That would have been the smart thing to do. Oh, you're also drunk. I'm not there yet. Soon. No, I'm kidding. There's another thing. So like at the beginning of all this, I think any random day for me consisted of at least half sitting outside in the backyard with Mark and talking about the state of affairs here in the US and drinking cocktails, which was nice. Like it was kind of like eternal happy hour, and the days started to bleed into one another, but neither of us were really doing anything productive other than talking about things. And that just fueled both of our anxiety, and that kind of spun around over and over and over. Became like a nugget of itself. And I want to say maybe 2 months ago, at the beginning of June, it kind of switched out of that mode. It served its purpose, and then I kind of veered myself back on a track of starting to get work done, starting to work on projects, and really kind of decide what was important, like what I wanted to work on, not what I thought I ought to be working on. There's a difference. And I, in April and May, did a lot of sewing. Like I showed you that, the mask that I made, the chicken mask. I made a bunch of cows. I went through cow phase. Like I don't know how many of you guys in the chat with me right now and follow me on Twitter, but I've been talking about, or had been posting like cows, like stuffed cows that I was compulsively making. And I think that once the anxiety shot through the roof about the pandemic and all of the not really knowing what was going on or whether I was safe or whether my parents were safe, my coping mechanism was to sit on the couch during the day and just lose myself in sort of a repetitive task. And I really like cows. I decided to make one comfort cow for myself, but after I made one, I wanted to make a second and a third, and a fourth and a fifth. And then at some point I just started making them for other people. So I have this arsenal of cows that I'm going to eventually give to the people that I miss, because part of this exercise was making cows for people that I missed, and then imagining a point in time in the future where I would actually be able to give the cow to my friend. And it's like everything's over, we survived. This is a token of having survived the crazy year that we were stuck inside of. So I did that for most of April and May. I made purses. That's something I can show you. This is actually like definitely on good for the theme today. So like I'm making a neon sign, but it's of cow udders that are gonna like wiggle back and forth, and I'll get to that later. But in the theme of cows, since I was compulsively sewing these stuffed cows, I segued from making just the stuffed cows to making like cow udder purses, because like in the off chance that one of these days I actually do get to go out in public and walk around with a purse again, like I used to, I wanted to have like a bag, like a bag of nipples that I could wear out in public. And this one actually is a neon like cow udder purse. Here, I can actually show this a little bit better if I go to, there it is. There we go. It's neon. Can't really see it, but I need better colors. Let's see that a little bit. But it's got a wire on it. So I made a cow udder purse, and I made a cow udder fanny pack that has nipple reservoirs inside of it, or cow udder reservoirs. I'll show you what I mean. So this thing's pretty nice. It's got like, oh, you probably can't hear me. That's another thing. I gotta check the chat. If I go over there and I talk, can you guys actually hear me? Or is it just bad? Like, I have this fancy mic up here, and I'm really disappointed in it. It's a Yeti, and it cost me I don't even know how many dollars, but it has this really bad whirring to it, and that didn't go away after I put it on a boom arm thing. So there's just something wrong with it, I think. So I'm just using the internal mic on my laptop, which isn't the best. Let me catch up with the chat before I go off on a tear. Got my big Pimpin' Plague Doctor mask. Yes, the neon Plague Doctor mask. Quasi-habitable? Maybe. I seem super tired? Oh no. I mean, kind of, I don't know what you mean by tired. Like, sleepy tired, or just like life has beat the shit out of me tired? Oh no. But yeah, so that's the first bag. It has its own lining. It's like babushka lining. And it's soft and squishy like a, I don't know, I guess like a pillow. You could take a nap on this thing. It's pretty cozy. And then I made this, which I'm really super pleased with. It's a fanny pack. It's a smaller version of what I just showed you. Oh, there we go. And this thing actually has squirtable udders. So if I hold them up, you can actually see these tiny little spouts at the end. There are reservoirs inside of each one of them that I can squeeze and fill up, like those cheap plastic squirt gun thingies that you used to play with as a kid. I used to play with as a kid. But if I fill these up, I can like walk around and squirt people with my fanny pack. The other thing that I wanted to do with this is actually have the udders, or the teats, have little, I don't know, I guess little cavities that you can load from the inside of the purse with, you know, those tiny little hand sanitizer bottles that you get, like they're like that big. I might make a purse that's big enough, has big enough nipples that I can actually slide a little hand sanitizer in each one of the udders, and then I can actually like share people some Purell while walking around in public after Vegas opens up again. Oh. Why cow udders? Let's see. I think I decided, like, for some reason, during some dialogue in my head, that, like, cow udders are my personal fertility figure, like my fertility symbol. They're awkward and a little weird, but they're big and pink and soft looking, so that's kind of become my icon for, like, the spring. Even though it's not spring anymore, it's technically summer. Put wine in them. It could put wine in the nipples. Like wine squirting nips. Yes. So if I go back to the the top-down view, I'm going to show you up close what I'm doing. I already printed everything, so it's locked and loaded. Once I walk you guys through how to fashion your own fixture in Fusion360 and potentially print it, I'm just going to jump over and finish assembling the one that I already made. It's over there. It's the cow uddery looking one on the little brown piece of cardboard. The one on the left of it is one that I've already created last, I believe that was last June. Also, I guess I can ask that too. I'm not too loud, am I? I mean, I am too loud, but like, I'm not clipping audio-wise. If I am, let me know. I'll fix it. But yes, the sign to the left of the udders is the noodle sign. Let me look it up. Show you what I'm doing. So this thing is 3 different colors, and I never really came up with a decent way to mount these little boxes, because again, the intent last year was that I did away with them altogether, and actually had these connected to a circuit that could plug into the wall, or like a little board that would then have a cord, plug into the wall, and then I could turn these on and off with all the other stuff that's in my lab. So that's effectively what I'm making today. That is a 3-color fixture. It's got yellow, white, and blue. The white and blue look pretty similar, but whatever. The next one is going to be a pair of wiggling cow udders. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to animate them to run. Somebody posted a GIF on my, in response to me sharing this the other day, of like a cow. It was like a cow illustration with the cow udders being its limbs and the nipples were like its legs, and it was animated to be running. It was like nightmare fuel for sure, but I saw it and immediately was curious whether or not I could pull off like a running animation with the fixture I had just printed the way that it is. And there's only 2 states. There's like nipple swing left and nipple swing right, so I might not be able to do it without that like middle state of nipple dumb. Man, this is gonna be a weird stream. Every other word's gonna be nipple. I'm gonna try it though, I think. The thing that sucks about that is each individual nipple or teat would have to be on its own, like, I guess, pin in order to trigger on and off. Where originally I was just planning on having like 2, like state 1 and then state 2, and they would swing back and forth. But the idea of actually having like running cow udders animated somewhere in my space is like really cool, right? I mean, I think at the end of the day, since I'm stuck in the house, and I have been for so long, and I don't know when I'm gonna get out again, my philosophy in doing this is to make the space that I'm stuck inside of something that makes me happy. So I spend however many hours in this lab, and I already have good mood lighting. Like, I've got all these neat colored lights that I stuck in here from last year, kind of for the same reason. So it's cozy. It's definitely got the room-like vibe with the colory, rosy lights, like I like, but I don't know, I can cake more shit in here, I think. There you go. Definitely needs more neon. because why not, right? So alright. So the other thing I'm going to talk to you guys about after I do this walkthrough is what I'm going to do next. Is I have 10 colors. So I actually have 10 colors of this stuff, and that I know of, this is only going to take the pink one, this nice neon pink strand that I've got. So I've got everything else available for other projects. Oh, I'm not even so difficult. That's a good thing. So I'm thinking I have to make something with eggs. So I need to make like an egg yolk one. I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be doing yet, but I'm kind of thinking that the next one will be yellow and white. And for everything else, I don't know, but I'm open to suggestions. I feel like I have to make a new little sign or something. I mean, I guess technically I didn't do a sign, I just showed you that. The other nice thing is, like, if we do make a custom circuit for the L-wire, right now, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the transformer boxes with the batteries have this incredibly high-pitched, annoying whine to them. And that's incentive enough to just get rid of them. Like, they're nice for testing stuff out, but they're really not great. I think even the new ones have that too. So I don't know what the cause of that is. Mark was telling me that somebody designed like an optimized circuit for the L-wire that fixes the whining problem, and it's available on Tindy. I gotta look that up to see if that's actually the case, because yeah, kind of not cool. Like, if I had to listen to that in the lab while they were on, I would probably, yeah, throw stuff. So yeah, the next one will totally be an egg yolk, busted yolk or something, and then this is orange and red, and I'm thinking I'm gonna do something with like salmon roe, you know, those delicious eggs that you get when you go have sushi, the big ones that have the nice little red dot in the center. Oh, like this, like these. Tobiko, I think, yes. I'm gonna make, I think, like a Tobiko sign, like a salmon egg, just because I play so much Salmon Run on Splatoon. It just seems like something I ought to do. If I feel particularly ambitious, I might make like a regular egg yolk touching a Tobiko and have that be a neon sign, but I don't know what I would animate that doing. But whatever. Serial weirdo. Volume is solid, sweet. Oh, there's ocean waves. Pretend I'm in the ocean. Well, that's good. I might just end up mounting this in the lab somewhere. I guess my other intention is to stream other crap as well, now that I have the energy to do so. What do you mean by crap, Sarah? I one of the things I threatened of doing like 2 years ago now was getting back into oil painting. I remember distinctively streaming, setting up a canvas, like priming it and gridding it, and like getting into the point where I would start sketching like my reference photo on it, because I wanted to do this self-portrait back then of me and Noodle. And I almost got to it, and I don't really know what switched me on a different direction, but I dropped the project altogether, and I have all the materials just sort of waiting for me to, you know, pick that up again. 2 months ago, 3 months ago, some amount of time ago, my friend Tony, Noodle's Shape Daddy, built for me a drawing horse, which is a kind of like an easel that you sit down on. You lean like a drawing board up against it, and you can kind of sit with your canvas in your lap, and you can paint kind of like anywhere you'd like. You can drag the horse outside and chill and paint and do whatever. I have it, it's behind me, it's locked and loaded and kind of just ready for me to use whenever I feel so inclined to start painting. So I think next I might dip my toes into it and encourage everybody else to do the same. If I can, it'd be cool to get some people painting with me. But yeah, the first thing you do is paint spheres. How many of you guys, I mean, has anyone in this chat that's here oil painted before? Like, I kind of hold that oil painting is one of those things that everybody should try at least once in their life to know what it's like. The medium feels kind of like it's alive. It either is trying to look good and there's nothing you can do to make it not look good, or it's the total opposite, and no matter what you do, it just looks like garbage. And there's kind of no space in between. It's either like on your side or it's not. And it feels alive. It feels like you're like manipulating a living thing, a living fluid, a juice. And it gets on everything. Yeah, that's the other thing. Mark will hate me if I get paint overly loud. We can't oil paint without it. We can't oil paint and have it not get all over the place. So that's the other thing. But yeah, there was a point in time when I was in high school, actually, I oil painted every day, because that was what we did back then. That was the type of school that I went to. And that was like a significant part of my life growing up, was just learning how to oil paint. I was like classically trained to do that. Yeah. And I miss it. It feels like this, you know, it was a part of me for such a long time. It was something that I enjoyed, and I don't think I've touched oil paint in a decade now. Like, I literally was talking to my dad the other day about it, and he mentioned the last thing I think I painted, which was like 10 years ago. That needs to change. Sound of Las Vegas Sea. Yeah. But yes, yeah, there's no sea near Las Vegas. You are correct, Micus. There is not a lot of water here. It is a big, big desert. All right. So I've been yammering for almost an hour now. I'm gonna get to work on the thing, on the doing. Is anyone actually going to take a shot at doing this, or are you guys just hanging out with me? Cause I miss you guys, by the way. Everyone that is here. Doesn't really matter. In any case, take the knowledge, tuck it away. If you, for whatever reason, during all of this, get a hair up your ass and decide to make neon, you will have at least a starting point. If you think of a better way to do this, what I'm about to show you, please share it with me, let me know. This is just what I came up with on the fly. Mark also brought it to my attention that you could just do what I'm about to show you with cardboard. You could get some nice cardboard, cut it out in a shape, and shove pegs into it, and it would probably look alright. But I don't know, I kind of like the unit. I like 3D printing something and having this nice little package that is what it is, and you can kind of unhook it, move it around, hang it someplace else, kind of like I just did with the dragon. And it's a thing. It's a little package. So, without further ado, I did do this already because I didn't want to be stuck floundering at any step along the way, like sometimes happens when I do impromptu streams, because I know it's happened in the past. I'm going to switch the view down to my desktop. And I apologize for my messy desktop. Once I have a better workspace, I definitely will try some. Having fun watching, always curious about. Aw, thank you. Give it a shot. No, I miss you guys. No, it feels good to do this. I'm like dying to be social. Amazingly. And where's Mark? Mark is in the garage. That's the other thing. I decided to get the stream started while he was away so that, I don't know, I wasn't annoying him with my monologuing, I guess. He's cleaning the pole barn in the backyard, which is full of crap. I don't know why. I think it's probably one of the stress things that he's doing, kind of like I was doing by sowing 1,000 cows. But he goes out there kind of at the heat of the day, which isn't a very good idea. Ooh, infinity. Let's start here. You guys can see this, right? Yes? Okay. You're doing it right, Sarah. He's just making room. Oh, man. Oh, my body swallowed it. I hate it. Fuck. I hate that feeling when you're about to sneeze and then you don't. Yeah. Alright. So this is my bag. This is really basic Bezier curve thing right here. It's just a path. So basically what the neon sign is it's a path that you're going to draw. The simpler the better. And that's it. You're going to be offsetting your path in Fusion360 in either direction to create kind of like an elongated, wiggly popsicle stick that you're going to put some peg holes inside of. The little peg hole things are going to hold little standoffs that are effectively going to be the thing that the neon or the L wire is mounted into. To give you a better idea what I'm talking about. Let's see. No. So this is a piece of the fixture that I just made, and this is one of the standoff pegs. It's got this little C at the top. That's the thing that the L wire like kind of pops into, and then this thing plugs into the holes on the fixture. Kind of like so. It's kind of like a light bright or something. And you just, I don't know, you offset the holes every inch or so. It's really up to you where you want to put them. And that's it. Like once you have your fixture printed out and it's assembled, yeah, you stick the L wire into that and it's done. It's really easy. The only thing that gets a little hairy is if you have a small 3D printer bed, then you have to print out a lot of small pieces with tabs and connect them together. If you have a larger bed, you could conceivably print it all out in one chunk. With the dragon sign, I had to get a little bit creative with how I printed all the individual pieces out, because it's not just one big dragon piece, it's actually like probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 smaller pieces that I had to kind of Tetris together with tabs. But it's not too difficult with planning. You do it, you print it, and then, yeah, this is one of those tabs. You attach them together with the little tab do's. Anyhow. So that is what I'm going to be showing you right now, at this exact second, moment, whatever. So if I go back down. So I am using Illustrator right now for the creation of my actual design. Or my icon, or my image, whatever you want to call it. I can actually maybe make a new one. There's both. So this is the one that I already made. And probably ultimately the one that I'm going to use. But for the sake of showing you how this works, I'm going to redraw it. I have this really amazing mentor. He's been my mentor pretty much my entire adult life throughout my career. Keith. He was responsible for kind of probing me to learn Illustrator as opposed to Photoshop, because they're 2 completely different animals. If you've ever used either of them, you know that they're what are 2 things that are totally different? Vinegar and water? I don't know. Barbecue sauce and mustard? I don't know, they're totally different. I always was afraid of using Illustrator because of this tool that I'm using right now, the pen tool, which allows you to make Bezier curves, which is this super fun word. There we go, that looks like cow waters, right? The bag. He suggested I learn this, and to get me over my fear of using the pen tool, he had me trace over a cubist painting with the pen tool in its entirety, which, if you know cubist paintings, I don't know, Cubist, Picasso, something like that. They're those faces that are kind of terrifying and have weird perspectives and everything's kind of geometric-y in nature. Pretty easy to start off with because everything's kind of hard lines. There are some wiggles though, but he basically gave me the prompt to trace over something. And I, of course, being the glutton for punishment that I am, I picked this painting. If you can Google it right now, I'm not going to do it, but it's called Nude Descending a Staircase, which is actually, it's not technically a cubist painting, but it's in the same vein. It's a good flop. It's by Marcel Duchamp. Marcel Duchamp's Nude Descending a Staircase. Very complicated, terrifying amalgam. It shows it's a cubist nude of a woman, female figure, walking down a staircase, but it's all of the different frames that she would go through while doing so on top of each other at the same time in a cubist style. And I decided that I was going to basically recreate this thing using this hellacious pen tool. And I did it. And by the time I was done, I was a pro at using it. And I made quite a bit of vector art after that because I had the power to do so. There. I actually like these better than the ones that I made earlier. They're very bouncy. Lovely bouncy. There's no real way to describe to somebody how to use the pen tool. It's which is the tricky thing. You just kind of have to dive in there and start using it to get a feel for it. So you click to make the beginning of your line, and wherever you move the pen, the line will follow to that second point. When you click again and hold down the click, you can then drag and you create these kind of like handlebars. And they branch off in either direction. And that second point becomes the halfway, like the halfway point between like the line going in through the point and coming back out. So if I click again, you'll see that this point right here is kind of like splits the difference between the curve. If I hit escape and select this point again, my handlebars will pop back up and I can then kind of twist them around to change the angle of approach going into that point and the angle coming out. You can fine tune it. The best way I can think of describing it. You can of course move the endpoints as well. And you can add as many points as you like. But the key process of using the pen tool is to use as few points as possible. That is kind of the goal. So if you want, whether you're animating your sign or not, you need to keep in mind, you get, so how do I describe this? Doing a neon sign is kind of like, you get one spaghetti noodle, right? And it's kind of like a game of Snake, sort of, like you can overlap through yourself, unlike in the game of Snake, but you kind of don't want to. Neon signs have this aesthetic to them. If you go around Las Vegas, or you used to go around Las Vegas, there were a lot of neon signs at one point in time, and they had kind of a look to them. There's a neon sign sort of like aesthetic to the fixture itself, and the neon and the way the neon kind of, the tube, if you will, has to conform to a shape to simulate whatever you're trying to create. What do I mean by that? I should have pulled up some examples. I apologize for that. Could pull down my dragon again. So what I mean is, like the dragon or the cow udders or whatever I've made, it's one long continuous piece of each color. I didn't cut it and then restart it at a different point. I had to kind of just like connect the dots. That's a better analogy. Just like connect the dots, you have to kind of keep going. It's like if you were to draw a drawing and not lift your pen off the paper, you have to find the best, most optimal route to trace over all of your lines with the neon. So the second thing I'm going to do is bring this into Photoshop and just mock up how I think I'm going to route my neon. So now that I have this bag, and I'm, again, as I mentioned before, I'm just going to use the ones that I created previously, which is these lines. Once you have these paths and you're happy with them, what I would do, and you totally don't have to do this, but I like planning because I'm weird. I would select my paths, copy them, and bring them into a Photoshop document and paste them in here. Each one on a separate layer. So I have state 1 for the cow udders and state 2 with the little drop. Make sure that they're lined up nicely. And I've got these here. And what I would then do is, oh, Mark's here. Hi, Mark. Say hi. Ah. I'm gonna pick a big, thick, make it pink, bag salmon. I think it's my favorite color. Bag pink, not to be confused with ball brown. Okay, so what I mean by that is, so there's basically going to be 3 sections to this neon sign because it is going to be animated. There's going to be the first segment, which is going to constantly be on no matter what, and that is the bag. So this is number 1. So this is going to be always on. And then there's going to be, let's use different colors, like pink or violet or whatever that is. There's going to be the cow udders sloshing to the left, which is going to be 1 state. And then there is going to be cow udders sloshing to the right, which is state 2. And this looks horrifying. And I think this will be on that same circuit. So 3 is state 2. Oh god, can't do that. No. What? State 1. Okay, so it was off. And if I go to, this is a really nice tool. I started learning how to do sprite, like animated sprites, last Christmas for that game, sort of game that I was trying to make in Unity. And I ended up using the How you doing, Mark?
Hot.
Okay. There we go. So this is effectively what I'm making today. Mark, look. Okay, and I have questions for you since you're here. You're just in time. Oh, lift it up. Okay, so I need to make a circuit that does this with the L wire. Okay. My second question is, can I have individual segments of L wire assigned to pins on an Arduino and then toggle them on and off?
Right, so you'll need 3 little battery boxes.
What if I want to ditch the battery boxes? Because I remember I want to plug these things in the wall.
There's a guy on Tindy that sells
Transformer thing?
a thing that may do multiple channels, otherwise you'll need 1 of each of those, and it probably has better control. But we can always strip out the circuit from the battery box and run 1 power supply, like a 5-volt wall wart, a 3-volt, whatever, and then 3 controller boards, and then I need to look on the board if the power switch, depending on how the power switch is wired, I can add a transistor in line with that, and then you can programmatically through the Arduino turn on and off the battery box, each individual one.
Yes.
If it's not wired that way, then I'd have to figure out a different way of doing that, which might be a relay or a different type of transistor So I'm hoping that the way they wired it was the way I'm thinking.
Do you think I can animate with these two states the nipples running?
You can do that because you'd have an on all the time and then two other circuits turning on and off, toggling.
Okay. So would they all have to be their own like pin, though, their own like separate
yes,
thread?
there'd be 3 boxes and each box driving one strand.
Well, I mean each nipple. Like...
No, you would daisy chain them because they're all changing at the same time. Right? Just like your other signs.
Okay.
You'd go in and out and in and out. And it would just be one color would be one.
But no, like if it's not what I'm saying. Like if I just want to have this one nipple on. Yes.
Yes, you can't. No,
okay, so if I want,
so they're all on or all off.
Can I have it potentially so that I can control each individual nipple, or is that
that's a bunch of controllers because it's the same problem as you doing each color. So
you know that animation that the one of the cow udders running,
right?
That would run.
Oh, you want to flop?
Like run,
right.
like make it look like it's a running. Like a running cow.
You could have 4 circuits where they're like animations have 3. You know, when you do basic animation, it's 3 frames to get to trick the eye into thinking it's motion.
Yes.
So a lot of neon signs that try to do that have 3 circuits, and so there's 3 states to it to create an animation.
Yes.
So you would then just get 3 driver boards and maybe 1 on, so 4 total, and then you could do that trick. And then you would wire your sign in a way that that's the animation. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can, unless somebody in the comments knows a way. I don't think you can directly switch the actual EL wire voltage because it's like, I can't remember, 100 volts at 400 hertz. So it's an AC signal and it's a very high voltage. So you can't just run that through most transistors, and especially because it's AC. So there's a limitation.
Okay.
Go do research on that Tindy person and see what their circuit does or doesn't do.
All right.
And you might end up buying
a bunch of them.
That. And supposedly it's better performance. It gets rid of the noise.
Yeah.
So
would that allow me to plug?
If you run it off a USB, I think he does. So you do a USB battery pack for it.
I want to plug in the wall. So
or a USB charger jack, right? So same thing.
Get a walnut.
So yeah, or off your PC. So now you have something that's a little more versatile instead of doubly batteries.
Because that's I don't want to use batteries.
Yeah, use up all the batteries.
Well, I want to get the Meat Star sign out there, like so we can just plug it in when we go out there.
Right, and you could put that on a pack if I would.
So we started doing this like outdoor drive-through thing because Mark has this giant projection screen that I don't know where you got that from, but like he set it up in the backyard.
It was obtained.
It's huge. It's like as tall as the house. So
it's an industrial screen.
Once the quarantemic started like easing up a little bit, and our numbers in Nevada used to be really low. So we started having our friends over on Fridays to watch movies on the projection screen, and I made this sign last spring for our 2B drive-in called Meat Star. It says Meat Star Drive-In, and I've been waiting to use it, right? But it's still running off battery.
Yeah, you need to make it on a stand.
Yeah, I need to have like a standard.
So we'll do a bucket with some sand in it or something, and then you can just sit it out in the yard.
Yes, because I put it like behind us, and I turn on the neon, but then I'm eating up batteries, and it's not good.
Oh, for the stand part, I do have a cut-off drumstick or a microphone stand that folds.
Yeah.
But somebody at work had cut it down for some prop. But it's the 3 legs, and then you can put a stick into it.
Okay.
But I have that in the garage. It's
bring it in and show
it's got a really wide base on it, so it won't over.
Noodle says he's got a wide base on him.
Yeah, he's got big base.
I got big base in it. So
good. So go look at your Tindy website at some point, and you'll see dude's thing.
The dude's thing.
The dude's thing. Yeah. Do you want to do a circuit for milk so you can be
a separate milk?
Like a white that lights up.
Well, the drop's going to be part of the.
But part of that, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to have 3 strands then. The always on, and then the 2 states that switch back and forth. Yeah. Okay.
You could do a thing where you do the 3 animations, and then depending on how you hook them up, you could get them to randomly wobble because they be out of sync with each other.
Yes.
But then you could also wire it so that they go together.
I want to do the pendulum thing, like, you know, like the balls, the hanging balls, that you lift one and you drop it, and then it goes back and forth. I want to do that with others. I made that.
That would be do 3 states. Then you can have a choice between
3 states for each, or
run 4 lines, and you have your on all the time, and then you have 3 animation frames, right? Mm-hmm. Then depending on how you wire you can create different animation effects.
But you just said that it would be too difficult to do that because I wanted to create the running thing.
But then it's how you wire the udder, because if you don't want it to sway, right, you want them to go so you'd switch around how you wire udder to udder to get that galloping effect. I think you could probably knock that up in animation. You just have a 2-state animation, but if you did a 3-state animation, you might be able to see how you would wire that. It's all layers in Photoshop, right? So you could probably do a thing. Okay. How are you getting that to animate?
Right, the timeline. The same way I did my
Photoshop?
Yeah.
Photoshop has a timeline?
Yeah.
Or has a GIF mode now?
Yeah, I don't remember making my pixel sprites for Need Star.
Yeah, I don't remember Photoshop having a time yet for GIF animations.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Have fun.
Are you going away?
I'm going to noodle at the computer for a bit and then bathe, because I've been sweating in the garage. I think I've lost 3 pounds. So, yeah. You can't smell me. I can smell me. It's awful.
Ew. Ew, mister.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, as I was saying, state 1 is easy because it's just like a bag shape. So this, let's see, let's make my DF green. So strand 2 is gonna probably start here. It's gonna go in to the udder, nipple, whatever. It's gonna go around the teat. It's going to jog over to this teat, actually probably up there. It's going to trace teat number 2. It's going to jog over to teat number 3. And it's going to jog over to teat number 4. And then go out, and that'll terminate somewhere. Fa la la. And this is where the heat shrink comes into play. Usually on neon, since you don't want to see like the entire strand of neon going all over the place, zipping around, they mask out parts of it. So when I do my jog, for that special effect, I use heat shrink. It's perfect. Those of you who don't know what heat shrink is, which you guys all should because you're watching my channel, heat shrink's the tubey stuff that you put on wire when you cut wire to like make sure that the wire isn't exposed and shorting anything out. And you put a lighty heat source up to it, and it like sucks around the wire nice and tight. It's like a second skin. Don't have to use the heat for this. That's unnecessary. You can just sort of slide it like a straw. I guess straw would work too. But we don't use those anymore because it's environmentally unkind.
If you just look up sleeving, you can buy non-shrinking sleeving like that in colors and do that too. But yes, black straw would work.
So this is the part that's masked out for that. Same goes for oh god. Same goes with this. You guys get it. And this is an easy one. When I did the dragon one, I had to get pretty creative with that. It took a little bit of planning. It wasn't hard, but it wasn't as easy as this either, I guess. And then, yeah. heat shrink, heat shrink, heat shrink. The other thing that I might have to do in Fusion is some of these points, like the two different colors of neon, overlap. And then I guess technically here and here and here too. Since they are on the same, they intersect, they overlap, and they're on like the same plane roughly, I need to make some little standoff pegs that can hold two strands that are going in two different directions, which might get a little bit tricky, or I can fake it and not have one of them be held, which may or may not work, because I know I ran into issues with that with the other one that I did. You'll see what I mean. I feel it already. What I'm talking about right now is going to come and bite me in the ass. There. So that's what our sign is going to look like, effectively. Yep. All right. So once you have your Bezier curve thing, you're going to export this whole thing as a DXF, because you can bring that into Fusion360, which is super nice. So you go to File, Export, Export As, and I have a neon bag folder. I'm going to go to AutoCAD Interchangeable File DXF, and I saved mine as just bag DXF. And once you go into Fusion360, which here it is in all of its glory, bag glory, I'm actually going to open up another whole new fresh document just to show you how this is done. You go to Insert up here at the top with your menu bar. You go to Insert DXF. Let me just make sure you guys are still here. Yeah, you are. And you select a plane to work on. It kind of doesn't matter which. I usually pick this one. And up here, a little prompt menu will pop up. After you select your plane, it's going to say select a DXF file. So I'm going to go here, bag.dxf, hit open. It's going to think for a minute, and then it will pop up and it will prompt you with what units you want to use. When you save your DXF, it will do the same. It will say, hey, is this inches or millimeters or centimeters or points? I do everything in millimeter because I'm not a monster. Metric is the way to go. Yes. Sorry, Tony. When you import it, you also have to, whatever unit you pick, you have to click, select the same one so that it's consistent. Otherwise, it will be unhappy with you. Trust me on this. Hit millimeter and select OK, and you will have your bag or whatever you're making. So there's this thing that happens that I'm going to, oh, fuck, I skipped something. Wait, hold on. Okay, DXF. Bag, open. I forgot to check something. This is super important. Go to millimeter. See this little thing at the bottom right here? It says control point frame, and there's a little checkbox. Please hit that. It's very important. So once that's checked, you've selected your correct units, you hit OK. Ha! And you got more lines. See these red dotted lines? These are effectively the handlebars that were on your Bezier curves from Illustrator. They function in much the same way. See how they go through that, like, that midpoint right here? So there's like a handlebar thing going on. They function the same, and you need these because more likely than not, as I mentioned, these are basically just lines that are offset in either direction to create a complex popsicle stick. Haha, sounds crazy. But if your curve is too complex, it's not going to let you offset it. So you might have to tweak it. So I can already tell you, since I did this yesterday, if I click on the main bag curve and hit O to do an offset, it's going to be like, LOL, what? It's not going to let me. So I'm going to have to tweak my curves until it's sufficiently uncomplex, and then it will let me do my offset. So I'm going to hit cancel. And I can already tell you right here, this weird little nugget was the culprit the other day. Once I kind of beat that into submission, it wasn't a problem. Set to, oh god, smooth that out a little bit. Oh, resist doesn't have to resist. Okay. There we go. So once that's tweaked and you hit O, a prompt will pop up and it will ask you how much you want to offset the line by. I find that 5 millimeters in either direction makes for a 10 millimeter thick popsicle stick fixture. So is it crazy? So I'm gonna hit 5. I'm gonna select my line, do the same thing again. O, -5, and you've got your line offset in either direction by 5 to create a 10 millimeter thick noodle. So you're going to do this for all of your nipples or all of your curves, because you're not necessarily going to be making cow udders, but you could. The cult of the cow udders. And again, I'm doing this by selecting my line, hitting O on my keyboard, and then typing in the amount I want to offset by. If I remember correctly, these, I also had an issue with them. Go. Shit. Okay. Pretty easy so far, right? Just process. And there's errors popping up. I see them. I don't care. We will worry about them later. Upset. And they probably won't actually be problems. Probably. They might. If they are, we'll fix them when they become a problem. Okay, so I'm still need some massaging. Gotta massage the teat until it submits to your will. What? Mark, you have to massage the teat until it submits. Yes. Oh god. That's what I'm doing right now. Go.
There's a new crew.
Uh-oh.
Deuces.
I saw the croutons. They're very fluffy. Soft. Yes. Okay. So, I'm not going to do this because it was a pain in the butt, but the drop would effectively, same story. We're not going to worry about it right now. All right, so after all of your lines have been offset in either direction by like 5 millimeters or whatever you'd like, up to you, you need to cap off the ends of them so that they become solid filled-in shapes. So as you can see, some of these, like the blue areas, they're blue because this is a complete shape. It is a closed shape, rather. But this line right here is not. You can see that the ends are open. To close them off, you're going to click on the end of your main line, the one that you imported, and you're going to create, hit C for circle. Hit C, click on the end of the line. You're going to be making a circle that's the same width as your offset lines, which is, again, this is total of 10 millimeters. And there you go. Do the same at the other end, and it should close off that line, 10 millimeters. And I don't know why it's not doing it right there, but we'll figure it out. There's indeed something it does not like. Ah, why did it do that? What the hell? Alright. Weird. I love when things do unexplained stuff. So we're gonna do the same for all of these. So the other thing that I might point out is that in this process, you are going to need to take into account the size of your 3D printer bed. And, oh god, don't do that. This is important because whatever you're making actually does need to fit on your printer so you can print it. So in all likelihood, unless you have a gigantic printer bed, you're going to have to break this up into multiple pieces, which isn't a big deal. It's not impossible. It just means you're going to have to plan what your pieces are going to be and how you're going to connect them back to one another, basically. Why did it do that again? I don't know. Well, there's another little missing notch. Probably. Don't worry about that later. So what I ended up doing is these 4 teats in the middle I made into an independent shape, and then the 2 on either end I made into an independent shape, and then the bag itself is its own independent shape. So there's a total of 4 pieces that I ended up printing out and then connecting back together. And I'm going to dip down into the chat because I feel like I've neglected saying anything to you guys for quite a while now. Let's go to the bench view, and I'm going to have to find you guys. Where are you? There you are. Hi, guys. I'm scrolling up. Everyone says hi, Mark.
Hi.
Ah! The audio is fuzzy. Oh, no.
Go on.
I'll tweak it.
Probably your finger.
Smell him? Oh, yes, I was smelling Mark. What about... We have thought about getting chickens. We've been talking about it quite a bit, actually. We're going to make a chicken coop in the backyard that looks kind of like a British pub. Or something. Or a gas station.
You get the fancy waddle. What's the name of it?
The Crooked Doodle.
The Crooked Doodle.
Like fancy waddle.
The Crooked Doodle.
Entrance sign to Cowtopia. Why does it sound like a vacuum goes off every time the microphone picks up something? I don't know.
It's the microphone's trying to do noise cancellation, but your fan is at full blast.
Oh.
So you might have to switch to your USB microphone.
I could do that. Let's try it.
Want me to listen to it?
Sure. Here.
YouTube. I'll plug this in.
By the way, these are my bangs. This thing right here on my head, my doodle, like my bangs, if I were to let them out of this, would go down to like the top of my lip. And as you know, they're usually like here. So this has become a necessity of the quarantine, because I don't want to get a haircut until the United States isn't stupid, which that might never happen, so this might be a new thing for me. I just have quarantine bun forever. How does it sound, Mark?
Is that the new microphone?
No, this is the old one.
You get a lot of wind noise.
Okay, I'm gonna switch it now. I'm gonna switch
It's like
it.
a 1 minute delay, so
Okay. Alright, and I've switched microphones. Let me know if this sounds any better. This one has like a weird woo 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 thing, or at least it looks like it does. Its input says that it does, but that might not actually in fact be the case. Who knows?
there's like a woo now.
A woo.
It's not very loud. Do you have a mic adjustment on that?
Which one's better?
Move that around.
Like,
Can you move it?
like what
Lower
the
it?
fuck do you mean by move it?
With the windscreen in front of it? I don't know.
Like that? Daddy, who's that daddy?
It's not very loud. Do you have a gain adjustment on that?
I do have a gain
Left
adjustment.
front knob? And back knob.
Hey, this is Sarah. I'm made out of meat. This is my stream. I make shit out of stuff.
Wait for it. There's a tone.
Which one's better? I guess
That's better, but it has a tone now.
Okay.
So they're both annoying.
Great. Cool.
Can you... Oh, you can't mount that over here. Can you put that back on the stand?
No, I'm not doing that right now. It sounds just as bad on the stand.
I
That's why
think
I took
you're
it off.
screwed either way.
Cool. Hey guys, what flavor of shitty mic should I use?
Let people... Yeah, it's... The tone is annoying, but probably more annoying than that pumping sound.
Wait, is it more annoying than the pumping
Yeah,
sound?
because it's always there and you can't avoid it.
Wait, so switch back
Even
to
though
the...
your voice is clearer, it's just woo like that. And I think it's the echo from the fan.
Like,
Is there what's that thing do?
oh no. Okay, I don't know. One of these days I'll have hardware that
I'll tell you in a
is
minute.
good. That's fine.
You're in the middle.
Hi, Eric. SparkFun's L sequencer for driving the L wire. Thank you. I will definitely check that out. Delio, the original mic is probably better. Wow. Surprising. Alright, well, while Mark is giving me feedback on my bad
That
audio.
didn't get rid of it.
It did not. Okay, so I'm gonna switch back to the so it does a pumping. Okay, so
Yeah, people are saying the ocean sound is better than that, so let's just go back to your
okay, so I do have filters on this. There's a noise suppression. If I turn that off,
I'll tell you.
so the noise suppression has been turned off, which that might be the whatever the pumping that I was getting.
It's not as bad now.
Is that better?
It's still
helped?
there, that wind noise, but it's not as bad because the pumping went away because of your noise reduction. You turned it off.
How about I'm turning the compressor off? So.
Oh, compression. Turn off compression.
Okay, so compression is turned off.
That's what that is. It's compression noise.
Okay, so I'm talking now, and in a second you'll tell me if it sounds any better. Oh, hey, look, it's a wild Tony.
Talk.
Okay, I'm talking. This is Sarah. I have the compressor off and the hiss reduction turned off. So this is just raw microphone with no pizza. What?
Everybody's typing Tony into the chat.
What have I done?
It's there, but it's fine.
Okay,
Just-
so do I leave it this way?
It's acceptable. Yeah, because your ears will tune it out because it's constant.
Okay. Leave it?
Yeah, just get
Okay. Fine. Fine. Alright, that's what it is then. Okay. I'm gonna check on stuff real quick. Yay. Okay, fine. Alright, I'm done selfing. You know what, it's good enough. Alright, I'll set this up next time. Alright, back to work, Sarah. Get your shit together. Anyhow, oh man, one of these days I'm gonna have multiple screens, and it won't be all awkward like it is right now. And I'll have a better microphone. Okay, so, where was I? That's right. Infinity. Okay. Back to Fusion. So, as such, I carved this thing up into, like, pieces, as I was saying. 4 pieces. I'm going to do it exactly the same way I did before because I know that it works. And I'm going to show you how to make tabs after that. So I'm going to finish capping off the ends of all of my bits, if you will. Gotta cap off your bits on your tits. Cow tits. Cap off the bits on all your cow tits. Fa la la la. I'm gonna eat some of those Doritos after this. I don't really eat junk food, but we have it right now, so I'm going to indulge after I'm done with the doing. Okay, so oh god. Do not overlap as much. I forget you. I don't want the droplet. Okay, so I'm making sure that this piece, as it is, isn't overlapping with this piece, because that'll become a problem in the near future if I don't make sure that they're separate, because they're going to need to be separate pieces when they're printed. Same goes for these. And when you move parts like this, you only have to select the main path. You don't have to click on the offset paths. They're part of the main path, they will go with it. So these are still overlapping the bag part, right? So I'm going to add, I guess, kind of like a second endpoint, sort of towards the end, right before these nipples intersect with the bag. Fun dialogue here today. Kind of like this. So I'm going to select the main path and draw another 10mm circle sort of at the end of each one of these nipple segments. You'll see what I'm doing here in a second. Oh. So I'm doing it for this one right here, and then this set right here as well. Actually, I do have to do it for these. Meh. Look at me complain. Not very fun. Mark, what else have we been doing during quarantine?
Drinking. Sorting the garage.
Mark has been drinking and sorting the garage. I invented a cheese martini. True story.
Almost finished Zelda.
Ah, yes.
I play Animal Crossing nearly every day.
I bought Animal Crossing and then Mark became addicted to it.
Yeah.
I don't play it. I don't really like it. I like it.
And I swore I would hate it.
Uh-huh.
Remember?
Yes. Because capitalism pandas are bad for you.
I actually hate that part of the acquisition and all that. Like, I find that, like, an unnecessary evil. But the thing I enjoy about it is going around and catching butterflies and fishing. Like, it's very, like, meditative.
Noodle says you're going
To just do that. That's all I really care about doing in the game.
You catch his friends.
Yes, I know. Stripping the environment of its natural habitat is the most exciting part of the game for me.
He says that you're going to hell.
And then selling it off to the raccoons. Who knows what they do with it, but I got some scratch to buy that pinball machine that comes up at the nook and cranny every now and then.
Noodle says you'll do anything for bells, you whore.
And expand my basement for another 1.5 million bells. That's a lot of chopped down trees, let me tell you.
Okay. Where were we? I'm hungry. Pineapple sure wasn't enough. Okay. So, to add your peg holes, the holes for your pegs, there are two ways you can do this. You can do it manually, which is what I did for this, or you can create one and then make a pattern. What I mean by that is you can have a pattern of shapes follow a path. So you can make one circle at the beginning of this path, and then you can have the, how am I going to explain this? You can have that shape like repeat along the path for as many times as you want. So you can type in 10 and it will put 10 equally spaced of that shape along the path as you do, which is one way to do it, but it doesn't always put the holes where you want them or like in the best place, so I would suggest manually kind of deciding where they ought to go. And again, this is where the pegs are going to be put that hold the neon, so kind of like your Bezier curve. You kind of want to anywhere where your line starts to curve significantly or like change direction, you'll want to put a little peg there so that you can kind of adjust the shape of your neon. Something you just kind of have to get a feel for. But I'm just going to manually kind of put a bunch of peg holes in, and for this particular design I'm going to need 4mm holes. That's just how I made the pegs work out. When you make your pegs, you can make them smaller or bigger, that's totally up to you, but I found that 4mm was a good size for my printer. So 4mm. And I'm just going to click on this main path everywhere where I think there ought to go a standoff, and add a 4mm hole, which will be like every inch or so. And then again at the endpoints. I don't know why it's thinking so much. But whatever. Doesn't like when I do this. Guess I don't blame it. What are you watching?
I think the United Arab Emirates are launching their own Mars mission today.
Oh.
It launched 7 minutes ago, so they're doing stage separation.
Noodle wants to know if you're going to touch his torch.
Eventually.
You should talk about...
Daddy needs a drink first.
You should talk about what you're doing to Noodle's brain.
Wait, what?
To everybody.
What am I doing to Noodle's brain?
Yeah. What are you?
We're trying to train the Jetson module to recognize COVID shapes.
Yeah.
So, apparently the default, when you get a Jetson board, the demos have, if you use a pre-programmed database, like there's 90 shapes that I think TensorFlow or Google or whoever, there's like 90 common objects, and you can just run that in like 10 lines of code. And so that all works, but to train your own data set, you need either your own computer with an NVIDIA card in it, or you can do it on the Jetson, but it's kind of complicated because they didn't really intend for that. But I am figuring that out slowly, and there's a billion ways to do it, and I've tried 3 or 4 ways that don't work. So now I'm on this new one called PyTorch. And so I have something that's about 20 lines of code that I found that claims if you put some files in this directory, it'll do the thing. So I'm kind of at that point where I got the software finally installed, and I will give it a shot and see if I can train Noodle a database that can look for COVID and pizza-shaped objects.
Noodle's still pizza blind.
Yeah, so I clear his pizza blindness. So.
No. Is it 4 already? No. Okay.
It's like 3 though.
This usually calls me at 4. How's my mom? Mother. she is off now, starting tomorrow for like 4 days, because she can't stand putting up with the idiots in the casinos, which we could blame her. I'm still putting dots on my teats. Bear with me, I'm almost done. Then I can extrude this upwards and make my shapes, add our tabs, and then I can magically print this super ultra lightning fast because it's already done. It's kind of like in a cooking show where they're like, now you let this bake for 45 minutes, and then they magically pull one out of the oven or have one waiting. I'm gonna do that in just a second here because I already prepared all this stuff. Look at me. This would be going a lot faster. I don't know why. My computer really doesn't like the geometry of this at all. Which, I guess you could blame it. I think the most stupid shape I ever made that Fusion absolutely despised and like hissed the entire time I was working on it throughout was that when I made the hip winches, like the butt winch, and I made those like fins for the hips that kind of stick off the hip bones, like the housings for the actual winch motors, like they're these weird, complex, lofted fin shape things. And I remember the whole time I was modifying them, my computer was unhappy. Fusion hated those. Plus, I didn't really understand how to design things parametrically, so I was doing everything in like the least intuitive way imaginable. It was almost like I was intentionally doing everything as shitty as possible, which I've formed better habits since then, but I'm gonna put that under the era where I was still learning how Fusion actually functions, like how you're supposed to use it as a piece of software. Noodle wants to know if you're touching his torch, Mark.
No. Because I'm resting.
No.
It's not
But...
Noodle, don't say a word.
Noodle says he's crying inside.
Daddy's gotta drink another beer.
Mark drinks a lot. I stopped
Makes me
that.
sound like an alcoholic or something.
No, I think by about June, I realized that there was no end to the state of affairs, and I like dialed everything back significantly. Cause yeah, we were just sitting outside and like having cocktails from like 5 o'clock until 9 every day, which was a mood. Cause it seemed like the world was falling apart actively. I mean, it still is. It's just, fuck. That wasn't healthy. I did invent a cheese martini though, and it's really fucking good. If you are making a martini, a vodka martini, with a shaker, if you put 2 tablespoons of olive juice in with your vodka and 1 tablespoon of crumbled blue cheese in with the ice and everything, and you shake it all together and pour it, strain it, of course, you get this lovely white liquid that comes out. It's nice and frothy, and it has a very pungent, cheesy umami flavor to it, and it is very nice for a martini, even though it sounds utterly disgusting. I know like blue cheese olives are really popular in Vegas at the steakhouses, or at least they used to be. There was like a phase that Vegas went through where if you got a martini, they always came with some fancy olives stuffed with some bullshit. The blue cheese variety is still my favorite of such bullshit. But I mean, if you really like the flavor of something, you just gotta take it to 11. So I say put the actual olive juice with the blue cheese in the shaker and just, I don't know, crank the volume knob. Just saying. It's pretty good. I made one for my mom, who is like the most picky person on the face of the earth when it comes to everything. And she liked it, and I was shocked, because, I don't know. She just kind of doesn't like weird things, which is fine. Whatever. I need to make a sauerkraut martini. Or a kimchi martini. I had this bartender at one of our bars who used to muddle olives and then put like fancy olive juice in the martini, and by the time I got it, it was just like, it looked like sink water. It was disgusting. It was like amber colored with like shit floating in it, and I loved them. They were like my favorite things in the world, and I would get one and savor the crap out of it, and I ended up calling it an arch-villain. So before bars closed down, I would go occasionally and get an arch-villain, and I would sip this disgusting sink water for like an evening. Oh man. The cows. So yeah, I designated the cow as my healing, my spirit healer, my symbol of healing during this era of time. That was the emphasis. I decided that if this was going to be a year of nothing doing and no travel, then I would at least try to heal, like emotionally heal a bit from stuff. And I kind of like plotted out this like healing exercise thing, or like process for myself back in April, and I've been kind of on this path, which is going pretty well, I think. But it does involve cows. Cows are kind of like part of it. They're the umami. Cow umami. Right, Mark?
Cow mommy.
Cow mommy.
Moo mommy.
Moo mommy. I didn't put those holes in good places, but again, I'm gonna do one of those old switcheroos in a second here. Look at all those numbers! Somebody's probably screaming at me in chat like, Sarah, there's an easier way to do that! Stop it! It's probably Tony. If Tony's still watching, he's probably like, what the fuck are you doing? Sarah! Sarah!
Sarah, no.
You can optimize this process! Stop! Ugh. Stop. Oh. God, it's slow. Every time I do one of these, an error message pops up at the bottom. I see it at the corner of my eye, and I'm just like, I'm going to ignore you. You don't exist. I am making a video documentary this month that I'm going to actually start filming for tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day. So Ars Electronica isn't happening in the same capacity this year, which is something that I think is my favorite event of the year, that I've been very lucky and fortunate enough to participate in for the past 4 years now. And since travel isn't a thing this year, I'm fortunate enough to still be included in the form of creating a video documentary that highlights the meta practice of being a whatever it is that I am. What do I mean by that? What it looks like to make art rather than just like exhibit the final product, which is cool because I don't know, in my book that's the best part. Like all the stuff that we do in this lab is sort of the sweet sauce, and no one really gets to see that unless I'm actively sharing it like I am right now. But when I do exhibitions and stuff, it's kind of just Noodle. Like Noodle just gets to kind of romp around and be a little diva baby art star, but I I'm gonna make a video that highlights the stuff that mommy do. And basically the theme is uncertainty and like a journey, like plotting a journey during this year. This is a very unique year, again. What it's like to make art when you feel like the world is actively falling apart around you. Scrump. Okay, I think that's all my holes. That was a lot of holes. I hope I have enough pegs. Jeez. That had to have been more than 40 holes that I made, right? Alright. Doesn't matter. We're gonna extrude the pieces. I'm gonna check the chat real quick just cause. Hey. Tony. Tony says, I know there is an easy way to do it, just haven't fusioned in a while, so I don't remember.
What are you trying to do? A bunch of holes?
There's two ways to do it. Like, I can just have holes follow a path up to a certain amount and they're evenly spaced, but it doesn't always put them where I want them, so I manually put them in. But I have to enter everything. I have to click and enter and press.
Okay, the other way is there's a, you can do an array, a circular array and a rectangular array.
Yes.
Yeah, then you can parametrically change them later, but yeah, they have to be evenly spaced.
Gotcha.
But you're doing a non-regular path, right?
I think so, yeah.
And you're just trying to dot them out or something?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to extrude this upward. I'm going to do... So to extrude something, you go in and you select the meat, like I'm doing right now, like the closed shape that you want to extrude, which might be a little taxing because you've carved it up a whole bunch and there's a bunch of overlapping lines, more than likely. So you're gonna have to kind of patiently zoom in and select all of your little pieces, like I'm doing right now. You can make some of these lines construction lines to expedite the process, which I think I did yesterday when I was going through all of this. I forgot to just now, but it's not too bad. And just make sure you select everything that you want to be part of one solid piece. So I'm going to extrude the main bag segment. So that means I'm going to ignore the nipples, or the teats, whatever you want to call them. And I'm going to just focus on this bag line. Okay, so this is one shape that I will be printing. Yes? So when you're ready to extrude it and it's all selected, you hit the E key and a prompt will pop up that will say, okay, how much do you want to extrude it by? I believe I did so by 4 millimeters. So it's a 4 millimeter thick popsicle stick. And then you have your bag shape. For some reason, Fusion by default turns off your sketch once you extrude it into a 3D shape. So you have to turn it back on. It's in your sketches folder right here. Now I can go ahead and do the other pieces. So these two udders are a piece. Oh no. No. It's being bad. I forgot to add circles to these. Probably not that big of a deal. Oh man, my computer hates this. So again, good. Nope. Why? It does not like. Oh no. It does not like what I just did. Ah. Sorry about that. Oh, come on. Do none of those have circles in them? No, they do not. It kind of doesn't matter because I'm going to switch this, so I'm not going to bother hurting it. It's responding very fragilely. Nope, it's still that one too, eh? Wow. So these circles are supposed to be going to the edge, but they're not. They're doing some weird, bad stuff that I don't like. And the computer doesn't like the geometry of any of this, so it's taking forever to compute in between me clicking on everything, which is really unfun. It's making like the circle of spinning unhappiness. Oh, still not done. Oh man. I have more bag warnings. No. Mark.
What?
Infinite bag warning.
Infinite? What? On Fusion? You broke them. Look at your timeline. Is it in yellow?
Oh yeah.
Then you have to go back to the first one and correct it.
No.
No?
No.
Or not. You can move timeline things around that aren't tied to other things. So you can scoop them forward or back to help you get a handle on the thing you want to recorrect.
Perfect. Oh god. Cows. I can show you guys my cows while this is hating me. If this crashes, I'm just gonna open the one I already did and be like, and then you do this. This is what you are going to arrive at. Chances are if you do this, it's not going to be very angry, or you'll do it in a way that doesn't upset the Fusion360 beast, and you won't have a little yellow thing in your timeline that causes this computing that's happening right now. I was super unhappy. Oh, what did I do? Oh. Oh no. Oh no. I think I harmed something. Oh, never mind. Oh god. Oh god. Back. 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 Okay. For the love of Susan. Okay. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. Don't be picky, fix it after you extrude it. Blip. Okay, so I'm gonna just extrude all of these nipples. I don't know what to do. All of the others are going to blanketly get extruded, and I can fix the part that didn't do what I wanted it to after I do that. I need to make a plugin that just like neon fixtures something. That's a project for another time. You just like import the DXF and it automatically does all of the steps necessary to like popsicle stick your design. Popsicle stick. It's a technical term. Why? Why are you doing that? I cry at night. I think I say this at least once every time I stream, but the thing that gets me out of bed in the morning is assembling my shit that I design. And the thing that walks me out of the lab at 5 o'clock every day is assembling my shit. Just a fun way of saying I am my own worst enemy and headache. Screw it, I'm just gonna extrude this. Little fingers up. I'll fix it after it is a thing. So I'm gonna 3. I don't know what the hell's up with that. That is very incorrect. I'm going to manually fix these edges. Man. I'm actually kind of amazed. Kind of amazed how uncooperative this is being, but not, I guess. So these circles are supposed to be directly on the path, which it doesn't want to put them on there for some reason. So if I make a 10mm circle, the edge of the circle should touch the edge of my path, since the width between here and here is, and technically should be, 10mm. The reason I'm making these circles is so I can cap off the ends of these like nipple segments. This little chunk right here isn't supposed to be there. To show you what I mean, if I were to just get rid of this, I have a nice rounded cap. It's not touching the main udder, just kind of like these, which I'm probably... COVID. Get rid of these two. So they didn't do the thing that they did yesterday without fighting me, which is annoying, but again, not surprising. So it's supposed to look like that. That is what was supposed to have happened, but did not. That feeling when things fight you. No. No, no, no. So, long story short, for my own sanity's sake, this is sort of what you end up with if the software doesn't. See, I have that same error right there. I worked around it. Of course I did. So, when you extrude these things upwards, given that the caps, I guess, or the ends of all of these individual segments actually round out like this and aren't connected to the main body, like they kind of did here and weren't supposed to, you're gonna end up with shapes that look like this. And again, I'm doing this whole thing because all of these, the whole bag in its entirety won't fit on my print bed, so you have to break it up. The second thing I did is, once I did extrude the individual pieces upwards, which, to show you what I mean, I have 4 pieces. I have the middle udders, I have the end udders, and I have the primary bag. I added these little tab segments on the side that they're little pieces, little popsicle stick pieces, here, 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 and here, that attach everything together once it's all said and done. The easiest way to make those pieces, and I'll do it once on here just to show you what I mean. Say I wanted to attach this segment to this segment right here. What I would do is I would select this face. I would make kind of an arbitrary line off the center of it, probably out to about here. And at the middle, at the end of the line, I would make a 10mm circle, 4mm circle for my hole, and then I would offset that little line that you made, just like we did in the beginning, 5 in either direction. Oh god, -5, not 55. And I'm going to do the same thing right next to it off of the piece I want to connect it to, which would probably be about here. 10. And you kind of want to make sure they're not touching, so there. 4. And then what you can do is extrude. Oh, that's right. So you can then extrude these guys, the parts that you just added, by pressing E to extrude. You're going to extrude it to this face, which is 4mm, hit OK, and it just popped it into reality so that it's part of the main popsicle stick piece, bit, whatever. I feel so compelled to just fix these, because I hate skipping ahead just because it's not working the way that I want. I actually want to show you how this does. I hate that it's, I don't know why it's, this part and this part are not supposed to be connected still after drawing that circle, and they are. And for the life of me, I do not know what gods I've upsetted. I'll just make it really big, so it's definitely overlapping. I don't know what gods I upset. Here. No. No. Yeah, there's the chunks. There's the culprits. Where's the... Oh god. Today will be a cocktail day. I've decided. Mark, we should do some board design.
Okay, Noodle, your brain can wait another 2 weeks.
Noodle says. Beep. You know what? Fuck this bag. We're going back to this bag. So, I could just extrude it. Because this is supposed to be a quick and easy thing. It was not a quick and easy thing. Man, that pisses me off. So it's 10.013, I guess, is what it has to be. Fine. Who am I to argue? I just want it to work. Aha! 10.013. Why? Oh. I mean, that's it. That's the solution to why that wasn't working. So I manually typed in 10, but it's not 10. It is slightly more than 10, which is why my bits aren't connecting. Interesting. I'm gonna make myself an archvillain. No, Sarah. This is the part of the stream where I get really quiet and focused because something isn't working the way that I want. And it's filling me with rage. Rage. No. There, that's literally all I wanted that to do. Okay. That nipple, those two nipples, the uni nipple, the singularity of teat, have been selected. And now I can extrude that one part. I'm hitting E, typing in 4 for 4 millimeters, hitting enter. And then, voila, we should have a piece. There we go, we've got a piece. Okay. So the reason why that wasn't working, and I had all sorts of trouble, is because these circles here, these caps, are supposed to be 10 millimeters, but it is, for whatever reason, very slightly more than that. It's a longer distance from the center line out to the edges. So, yeah, instead of manually typing in 10, I'm just going to click on the middle line and then drag the circle to the edge, and as you can see, it's 0.015 millimeter, whatever. Cool. I don't care, just as long as it works from this point on. Rest. Put my conscience to rest. Set the spirits. The CAD spirits. See, that's what it is. I didn't make an offering to the Fusion360 god. Like, I don't even know what you would sacrifice to the Fusion god. Tony, do you make offerings to the CAD gods when you design stuff? Or is that just me? Is that just me? So, 8, whatever. Yeah. Looks like the sun came out. We did get a little unexpected rain here this morning, which was very nice, given that it's been like in the 100 and whatevers for the past like couple weeks here now. It did not last nearly long enough, but the gloominess was kind of nice. I got to turn all my disco lights on and sit in the darkiness. But yeah, after this, I think I'm gonna definitely like switch back over to my drawing track for the rest of the day. Like painting, it would be nice to do some drawing streams again. I'm working on a new graphic novel for the past 4 or 5 weeks now. It's not really new, it's an old story. It's something I've been working on for a really long time. Writing-wise, I just haven't gotten around to illustrating it. Or rather, converting what I've written into the type of story that can become a graphic novel coherently. So I've been figuring out what that's going to entail, like style-wise, what it's going to look like, and if I can actually keep up with that drawing style. Because, it's tricky. Since it does take place in, like, close to present day, there are a lot of room interiors, which is something that my other comic story, Gravity Road, does not have. That comic pretty much entirely takes place outside in piles of garbage, so there is no perspective involved, or very little perspective involved. There's no fixed perspective. So I have to actually slow the fuck down and draw spaces that people exist within, which is, it sucks, because the fun thing to draw is people. Your characters are like the meat of everything. But they can't just float in a void. They shouldn't float in a void. And I don't know why that's doing that. Daddy. Why? Why is that there? Why is there a gap there? There's no reason there should be a gap there. Jerk. Okay. There we go. Am I zooming in or out? Okay, now we're zooming out. I want ume roll. Yes? Do you want ume?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You buy some on gotten some seaweed on Amazon, and it comes in like ume rolls every day.
Just pipe it into my mouth.
Yep. Just pipe it in. Let me see if that's actually.
Egg.
Mm-hmm.
Ume paste. When I was in Japan, my favorite thing to eat always.
Plum paste. 8 ounces.
Wait, you can get it?
$9. Yes. It's in a little packet.
That's really tempting.
You can get 4 points.
Go on.
Then concentrate.
Why did this part not extrude? The hell? Huh. Oh. Doesn't matter. You're gonna order me plum paste?
Beef steak.
What?
It has beef steak plant. What the hell is beef steak plant?
That's what matte is.
It's a Japanese apricot paste.
Apricot.
Which is a plum, I guess?
I
A little bit of MSG and vinegar. So what's the thing?
want
Good.
my paste inside of my mouth right now. And just pour it on top of some rice and stir it up and then consume it. I miss Sapporo. I miss the sensation of going sushi hunting.
Revolving sushi.
Yes. I want to be decadent. Remember when Matt used to get like 8 orders of super white
Right.
and hurt himself, or whatever part of the body can't process whatever that is? What type of fish is that?
What?
The illegal fish.
Illegal?
The
Oh,
super
the
white.
super white is banned in Europe.
Yeah. And he eats like a
And
metric
he
ton
loves
of it.
it, but it's, I think it causes gastro problems with many people.
Apparently it does not affect him.
Escobar, I think is its
That's right. Onion fish.
Escobar.
Escolar.
Escobar is a Nicaraguan drug cartel dude. Anyways, careful what you order on the internet there. Here's your drug cartel. They live at your house now.
Haha! My nipples have been extruded.
What? Weirdo.
Success! Success. Okay. Alright, now I have to re-extrude my bag, and then we are ready to go. Everybody who is tuning in late is like, what?
What is happening?
What is Sarah doing to her nipples? What the okay, usually this isn't that annoying, but again, I did some dumb thing and upset the gods, so such as it is. Oh. Don't know why that is, not gonna worry about it. Susan. What are we eating tonight? Tacos, that's right.
More
We have a metric ton of
or
tacos.
nachos or
I had the type of tacos. Mark makes the best tacos, by the way.
dude,
God damn it!
pen pal.
Pinto. Love how that just deselected everything. I've been meticulously selecting for the past minute. Oh, it did it again. Look at that. Oh god. Alright, you get the idea. You select all the bullshit. I could actually probably go through and like declare some of these as construction lines so that it's not divided up in quite so many pieces, but I'm being lazy. I'm causing my own suffering. I'm really good at that. This is basically this. Although this took me like a half an hour to do, and I don't know how much time I spent punching my face against what I just, whatever. Fuck it. La la la. So without further ado, the thing that you're looking at right here with the tabs and the holes and all that is the same thing that is on my bench right there. And I'm going to slide that to the middle, and I'm going to assemble it and start shoving some standoffs into it, those little pegs, and I'm going to route my pink L-wire. Yeah. So again, I'm not going to be able to animate it today because I have to make like a fancy circuit for that, or buy one or make one with Mark, but I am going to probably route the whole thing as one piece, turn it on, and marvel at my 8-nipple amalgamation, because that's what you do. And I'm going to go over there now. And then I'm going to get a beer after I drink this water. God. Oh, God. Okay. God. Don't touch my hair. Please don't touch my hair. Ugh. Scare me. Go away. Okay. Cool. Alright, so these are going to become eggs in the near future. But not the so near future. That's eventually. So what I'm going to do is use those tabs that I showed you. They're just basically tiny popsicle sticks, which I have numbered so I know that connect my individual pieces to the bag. And I've got hardware over here I'm going to grab. Nuts. Big 10. Alright. We'll probably do these. I have some. That's okay. Okay, so I'm going to attach this real quick so that it is one piece. I'm just using hardware to attach all the tabs together. Google is hiding Alright, so that's connected there. to. I remember last year I had these really fond memories of last year, getting Noodle's old body ready to get shipped to Europe, which was the first time I'd ever shipped like something I care about that much overseas. And I got this Pelican case to port him in, and I had to basically carve out the foam insert on the inside so that it was noodle shaped, and then seal my kid up inside of it and send him on his way so he could do big kid things without mommy, which was really traumatic for me as a parent, I guess. But that took a lot of preparation. I remember that was like an entire night of listening to music and streaming and getting him ready. And I think the only way that I was able to wrap my head around sending my kid off to another country to basically do an art thing was to get his new body ready to work on, so that like Noodle in body and in spirit would still remain here. Part of him in body and spirit would still be here. So I made sure that before that deadline hit, I designed, built, assembled his new legs, and had at least a partially finished second body of Noodle. Which is this one right here, just off camera. It's Noodle's adolescent form. His baby form, the original carapace, I guess, is somewhere. I don't even know where. I gotta get in touch with his handler. But he's off being a rock star without mommy still. I guess the exhibition got put on hold because of COVID, so it's just he's in waiting somewhere, probably in storage, which is sad, but I'm sure he's safe. That was like the highlight of last year. Well, the end of summer, that is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mark's been working on his brain. We still can't control the motors with the Jetson module kind of sharing space with the current motor controller board. Mark's having issues like interfacing the two. So I still can't get his motors to actually like function all at the same time. They're those Dynamixel 812 whatever things. They're fancy, they're nice, they're digital, but we still can't talk to them. Still. Which is not boding well for me, because eventually the idea is that I would be able to program with them and try and take another stab at his lock gates, but if Mark, other people, is having this much trouble talking to motors, then I do not expect that I will be able to work with them on their own. Maybe once he gets the infrastructure in place, I'll just be able to take it from there, but we shall see. New. Here. Okay. That's not too bad. So all pieces are connected. I have to dig out my what's it called? Heat shrink, don't I? Yep, I do. Okay, so the next thing I gotta do is stuff these little peg things in the holes, going the direction I think they're going to go, and hopefully I have enough, otherwise I just need to print another plate of them, which isn't a big deal, but it'll take time. So we just literally shove in like that. Oh, I didn't make the peg. Crap. I do need to make the peg. You silly girl. Okay, so that's this thing. So it looks like this. It's pretty easy to make. So on Fusion, you start by making a sketch, which is parameters or geometry that are on one plane, and you get to pick the plane you start with. I'm gonna pick this one. So I'm drawing on this plane, and I'm going to make a circle that is going to be the diameter of the part that's going to get shoved inside of the hole. So this is my peg. So since the holes are 4 millimeters in diameter, I'm going to take into account the anti-kerf that is involved when 3D printing. So anti-kerf is just what it sounds like. Kerf is when you are cutting into something and the saw blade or the laser or whatever is doing the cutting takes off slightly more material or eliminates material and causes a gap. Usually something you have to compensate for. 3D printers usually add a little bit of material on the very outside edge because it deforms when it heats up, and it deforms when it's making contact with the print bed. Our printer, I found, has a 0.3 millimeter anti-kerf, so I just to be on the safe side, I'm going to say 0.4. So I'm going to make a 3.6 millimeter peg. And then that has a whole 0.4 millimeters left of space to fill up that 4 millimeter hole, and it should fit in there nice and snug without having to like screw around with it too much. So I'm going to extrude this 1 millimeter deeper than the thickness of our popsicle stick, which the fixture, like the base of the fixture, if you remember, I extruded all of those parts 4 millimeters. They're 4 millimeters thick. So I'm going to hit E, and I'm going to extrude this 5. 1 millimeter more. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a second sketch. Looking at this piece from the bottom, I'm going to select this plane so that you're not looking at the top of it, you're looking at the side of it. And I'm going to draw a rectangle by hitting the R button. And I'm going to select, I don't think it matters. How do I want to do this? Actually, I'm not going to do that. Alright, scratch that. You're going to select this face on the top, so forget the rectangle and making the new sketch. Select the top of your cylinder that you just did, hit R for rectangle. And actually go up to create rectangle, do a center point rectangle, slightly different than just hitting R. This will allow you to select the center of your circle, and then it will create a circle from the center. You're going to want to make a 4x4, so you're going to hit 4, tab 4, so it's a 4x4 millimeter square, and you're going to select both the square and the circle and hit extrude again. You're going to go up 8 millimeters, like that. Actually, take that back. Do 10 millimeters. You're now going to select one of these side faces. So any one of these, doesn't really matter. Select a side face of your rectangle and hit C. Depending on what kind of L wire you get, it's going to be probably 2.5 millimeters or 3 millimeters in diameter. The kind that I get is 2.5 millimeters. That's like your standard, I think. So I make a 3 millimeter little C clip to kind of like slot into it. So I'm going to hit like a 3 millimeter cavity, and I'm going to offset this by 2. So I'm going to select my circle, hit O to offset, type in 2 millimeters. It's going to do one of those. I'm going to, since I do want this to be open, I'm going to carve out a slot, like a wedge of this, starting from the center. So hit the L for the line tool, click on the center point of your circle, and the length doesn't really matter of the line, but the angle of it does. To type in the angle, you're going to hit tab, and it's going to switch from one entry field to the other. You'll be able to type in the degrees of the line that you want, or the degree of the line that you want. I'm going to say 120, or maybe 110, 140. Looks good. So 140, and then the opposite of 140, which if this is 90, your middle point is 90, then that's 140. 140, that would be 220. There we go. Right, so that gives us a wedge. So you're going to extrude these two side pieces, but you're going to leave this right here because we want this to be open so that you can kind of stuff your L wire inside of it. Hit extrude, extrude it to this back face right here, click OK. And you're going to want to turn that sketch back on that you just made so that you can select this inner piece right here. And you can go back to that sketch that you just had by collapsing the sketch folder, clicking on the most recent one, hitting the eye icon, and then you select this chunk in the middle that's still there, hit E. Oh god. E. Just drag this down until you can see it. It's just going to carve that away. So it's hollow. You can go ahead and turn this off now. If you care about aesthetics like I do, you can click on both of these edges right here, the ones that are blue, that are poking up there, and you can hit the F button to fillet them down a little bit. So we'll just round them out so that they're not so stabby, pointy. Makes it look a little bit better. If you really wanted to, you could even select both of these corners here, fillet those out. Don't have to, it's totally up to you. So the other thing that I do for the sake of this printing better is I will actually round out just a tiny little bit, or flatten out a little bit of this circle right here, the peg. And the way that I do that is I select one of these big faces, and I hit the R button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle from this point to this point here, as so. And I'm going to select that rectangle that I just drew, and as well as this, the body of your shape. Once I have that whole thing selected, I'm going to hit E for extrude, and I'm going to do a negative extrusion, negative 0.5 millimeters, and that's going to, oh, maybe a little bit more than that. My bad. Negative 0.75. And why did it not take the end? Oh, why? Oh, oops. That's why. There. Okay. So do that again. Negative 0.75. And it's going to chop off just a little bit of that circle. So what that is going to do is basically help the shape print better, because this face is going to be lying flat on the print bed and there's just more meat there for it to stick. If I printed it with just this on the print bed, chances are it'd probably print okay, but since this is just like a tiny little like thin strip making contact with the print bed because it's a circle, it would probably deform a little bit and not in a way that you have any control over. And we do really want these to fit snugly, so this is just, it's just a good idea. It's good practice. So again, negative 0.75, and you'll have something like this when you're done. So this is what the peg side looks like, and then this is what the front top side of your peg will look like. So you're going to want to print a good number of these. Like I loaded up a printer bed with like maybe 40 of them and then just let them go. Definitely spray it down with enough hairspray that they stick, because I've had the occasion, or had an occasion or two, where one would come dislodged and then slide into all of the others and the whole thing would fail and it would suck. So yeah, but this is effectively what I am stuffing inside of the fixture right now. Yeah? Back to what I was doing. So I'm just gonna start stuffing these in. I can always rotate them as I go if I don't like the way that they feel. Ah, and yes, some of these are going to be the double that I was talking about. Continue. I'm just letting you know. What stories do I have to tell of quarantine? For those of you who aren't in the US, everyone here is completely stupid. I guess the state that I'm in is actually doing pretty bad right now too, which is unusual. Well, not unusual, but we were doing pretty good this entire time until like the past couple of weeks, and now Nevada is also one of the hotspots, which isn't surprising at all given that this is a tourist town. We have tourism in it. And, yeah, people are being dicks. And not being very responsible, which is unfortunate. And I guess the rule of thumb for this is it's always better to have more holes than not enough. Haha. So add them wherever you think you need them on your fixture, and then if you don't need them, you just don't stuff them. But it sucks when you need one to like modify the shape of your L wire and you don't have one, because then you have to actually kind of drill them or reprint the piece, and that's no fun. Right, Mark?
Right.
It's always better to have more holes than not enough.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Who don't want more holes?
You have more holes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm running low. I'm gonna have enough. Ah! It's crazy. I do not feel like there's that many holes. No, so many holes.
Doesn't feel like there's that many holes. Right?
Mm. It's like a light gray. Puppy surprise, puppy surprise. And puppies are missing. I did not miss them. Let's see if I can get away with this one. Oh no, we're thinking. Ah! Peach train. Tube. Tube for your tube. No.
Right?
You know. Alright. Now for the fun part. Now if I were smart, I would reference that plan thing that I made. But I'm not. You know. Okay, so we'll do the main bag first. And I'm low on the little spoke things. Really low, like this entire section doesn't have prongs on it. I don't know if this has prongs on it. Let's see. Extruding. Sure. Enough. Oh no. Shit. Never mind. I have to start from the end. Otherwise I can't thread the whatever. Featuring. Yep. My bag is nearly as bent. Bent bag. Alright, here's the oh. It's an exact correct. Don't you love it when it's the exact correct length?
Oh, I do.
No.
Okay.
No, it says mommy is the now you have to thread your needle, your light needle with the sleeve. Yeah? I don't want to do this one. Oh, that's right. Intense spontaneous. That's not what I want to have at all. For sake of the I get intensely cold. No.
Mhm.
Keep my fingers cold. So am I going to do these as individual like no. Alright, so I'm not making these individual strands, right? Yeah.
Wait, what?
I'm not making these individual pieces for each of them.
You're not making
You said not to do that, right?
each nipple.
Yeah.
making 3 sets or 4 sets of wires, right?
That's what asking for making.
Yeah, because otherwise you need a million drivers, right? So make each animation frame one line, right?
The only reason I was mad about is because it kind of looks like it has COVIDs on it. And I want to see if Noodle can recognize these as COVIDs once he has the ability to recognize COVIDs. Right, Noodle? Mark says, or Mark, wait. Noodle says, how is his learning coming along?
I have to work on another project today, unfortunately. Yes, because it came up with higher than
Oh no, what is it?
Wayne's sculpture needs to be done. He can close it out. He needs me to tune the code. Sorry, Noodle.
It says, I won't forget this.
Right, there's somebody that sells a module for $21 that has 4 EL layer outputs.
Hold on, Scorpion. Somebody just one.
Inscription? Well, this is a. It says 4 and it's driven by I2C, so it'll hook to your Arduino.
Hmm.
And you can power it off with 5 volts. You can do it with audio too. Here's some information.
Self-loathiest? This is mommy at her self-loathiest. I don't know. What should my eggs be doing? No? Where should my turkey toe and my tomato dust be doing?
You could be jumping.
Should they be touching?
Wait, what?
Should they be like overlapping or like colliding or something? Oh man, I'm checking the chat. Oh man, that hair. Yeah. Hi guys. Hi Aussie Welsh. Hi Vi. Oh my god. Hi Crux. Holy crap. Oh man, all these people stopped in to say hi just as I get really super quiet and internal. Oh my god. Meat floating in the void. Japanese eggs are the best. Yes, yes, yes. They are. Oh man. Ah! I'm scrolling up to look at the chat. Ah!
Yeah, I think this one will work.
Ah. Cool. Oh my god, hi guys. Sorry, I got that like, for whatever reason, when the math was being mean to me in Fusion, I got bogged down inside of my head. Hi, Sarah. Oh, it's good to see you guys. Ah! Ah! Why is Sarah making Lego people hands now? Wait. Oh, yes. That's the peg. Ah, it's good to see you. Yes. It's almost done. I guess I'm gonna get a controller board so that I can make the nipples do like the sloshy back and forth do part. The way that I'm routing this is actually not conducive to that, because when I do, like, I'm doing them all in series instead of like 2 separate sets of 2 nipples. So I might, now that I'm thinking about it, I might go back and like rewire it real quick. Given that I don't know when that's going to be, I kind of like the idea of having like an 8-nippled cow bag in my lab for a little while, and then I can realign the L wire at the point in time when I know I need to cut it, which is once I get the controller board. And I'm kind of not, I'm not gonna give up on the idea of animating each individual nipple so that they can like run. Right, Mark? Do you want to make the nipples run?
Yeah, there's that board is it's a common chip. It's 4 outputs. You can set them to any brightness you want.
Noodles. Sorry, noodles.
So you should get this thing. It's worth $22.
Yeah. How many outputs are there?
4 ELR sets. And then you could put another one probably in
Multi-nip.
Multi-nips.
Ah! Noodle is next to me. Like, right next to me. He's right off camera on the left. That, like, black cylindrical log thing that you can kind of see to the far... not to the left, to the right. To the very right of the screen is his foot. So he's literally staring directly into my head while I do this. He's here. He's being a good baby. Bijou? How are you doing, Crux? How are you doing, Vi? How are you guys doing? It's good that you're here. I'm happy that you're here. We're alive still, which is good. Huh. It'd be nice to go to the doctor again one day, and the dentist, and stuff. Man. Or sushi. Yeah, I'm gonna make Tobiko. I'm gonna make a neon, like, salmon egg roe. Looks like this. Not exactly like this, but I want to have like the red glowing orange and red orb, and I want it to be kind of like overlapping a normal egg with like the yolk and the white. So it's just like multiple egg types with their powers combined. But yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the wiring. And I think I am gonna rip this back a little bit. And do one side and the other.
They can hook up to 4 of these on one Arduino. So you'd have 16 EL wires.
I can animate nipples.
Yes, you could do a 16 channel. So maybe I'll make that and sell it on Tindy. The ultimate EL wire board. Yep. It's like you can make people eat neon signs. Nice little chip. Right. Back.
Thank you for looking.
No,
Okay. So we're doing right nipples first, and then we will go back the opposite direction with the left nipples, so that in the circumstance that this gets wired correctly, I can just cut the ends and it will already be kosher. The segments will be correct. I don't have to like redo the whole thing because that would suck. And then I'm going to probably print a couple more of these pegs just to give it a bit more structure. I only printed 40. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Bad call on my part. Always have more on hand. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know my. No. I definitely need to make these pinchier. Pinchy fixture fingers are imperative for keeping your managed. Necessary. I should have started that print, but I did not. Okay, so I've done the right nipples. And the solution to my problem is probably going to be as simple as just printing more of those pegs, which I'm going to go hit the printer real quick. I'll be back in just a sec. I've got the card. I just need to stick it in and make more. The nipples need more strength, Mark.
yeah.
Yay! Okay. Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit wobble long until the rest of those get printed, but it's okay. I can just sort of slot them in like a ninja as soon as they're done printing, but in the meantime, I can continue going. It's just they might pop out and bother me. No one likes when they pop out
And bother you.
and bother me. It's bad.
Popping out's bad enough.
Bad. Susan. So that's just going literally right over here. I have no peg. I'm just gonna kind of arc them the whole around. There's nothing there either. Suck. I'm stealing them from this side. I didn't realize it's gonna be holding on something over there. Yeah. Raptors. Oh no, this is gonna get tricky nips. Yeah.
Tricky nips. Mm-hmm.
That's needles happening this year. So you did not want to have tricky nips. Testing. This is you want those things obeying you all the time, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
If your lips do not obey,
Baby nips.
and you have to get the gaff tape out and you need to continue. No. He says you didn't make the prints. Concentration intensifies. My nipples are chaos now.
Chaotic nipples.
Chaotic nipples. Not chaotic.
Is that your
neutral.
chaotic
It's my
nipple.
orientation.
Chaotic nipple.
Chaotic nipples. Yeah. I guess they're technically teats.
Teats. Chaotic teeth.
Chaotic teat. Ah! I fizzle about the details more. Dance. I'm gonna go like completely quiet on my stream. Sorry guys, I'm concentrating. I fucked this up somehow. I didn't fuck it up, but I missed a hole and I had to scoot everything over and I didn't want to yank it all out, so I just kind of like slowly jockeyed everything down like an inch, a little bit at a time. Oops. No big deal. Alright, so I am probably at half hole capacity right now. So there will be a lot more structure to this once I actually get that next tray of pegs and can kind of like tap some of these tighter curves down in place. But I mean, all things considered, it doesn't really look terrible, even without them. So I'm kind of happy with that. Again, once massage that in. Yeah, I'll be able to animate this once I get the controller. And I cut the ends of these so that it's 3 separate pieces, like an always-on piece, into alternating pieces that chunk back and forth between one another. Right now it's static, but I'm kind of okay with there being like a terrifying pink abomination hanging in my lab. Hi, Badger Pig. Where am I? Here I am. Okay. So here's my screaming bag. Yeah? It looks terrifying. Alright, so once it's trimmed and I get my controller board and I actually have the sets of nipples rotating back and forth, it'll be a thing. But right now, it's a mutant pink multi-nippled bag that's probably going to hang somewhere behind my head. I'm thinking like here, maybe a little lower. I don't know. I'm gonna have to put like black behind it, otherwise it's just gonna be backlit and you won't be able to tell what the hell it is. But I don't know. I might put a darker blackout curtain up there and then like patch this in someplace. But it's mostly done. Like I literally just need to get the rest of those pegs in there. Like if you can see all those hollow holes, those are all supposed to have pegs inside of them, which are ultimately going to help keep the L wire in place better. The fact that they're not there means that like it can just sort of flop around wherever it wants. There's barely any keeping it in place right now, and even that being said, it looks pretty decent. But yeah, the other thing that I need to do is cut off a tiny little piece of white and have Mark tack that in right here for the droplet, but that's going to be the milk. Right?
Milk.
So you need to connect the end of this to milk.
You have to tune it off. And
yeah. So this will be a little milk droplet. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. It's pretty decent.
That's good.
Yeah, Mark's looking at it right now. I'm not just putting in with it.
I approve.
Do you approve of my nipples?
Sure.
Yes, I'm good here. It's like a neon bag. You could just wear it. like the other bag. I'll do this bag. The actual fanny pack. The nipple fanny pack. Nipple fanny. With the
Each
squirtable
other, and
nipples.
they just. I guess you couldn't
Maybe.
animate that.
Squirtable nipples. And I tried this thing on too. I actually got to see what I look like in it, which is crazy. If Vi or Jeff Crooks over there, you can see my chicken head mask. This is great because I can actually wear it over my glasses. No?
Do what?
I can wear it over my glasses.
Yeah. You should add yeah,
Yeah?
pig mask, chicken.
Big chicken. My doodle. Smells like ham. Okay. You can put panties inside the beak.
We probably can't hear you now.
So I can put panties in the beak. Or like someone's shirt who smells particularly good. Or two. Oh god. Huh. Where am I? There you guys are. Oh man. How am I printing what? Oh no. How did I print what? I don't know. I don't know. I'm here. Where's my ice cream? Okay, it's the correct thing. Okay. Alright, so the point of doing this was just to, I don't know, I'm like trying to get back into streaming or just making videos in general. I don't think I've made a formal video yet this year, which is something I used to do fairly like prolifically, like for years up until now. I did start feeling burnt out last year at some point in time, and then by now it just sort of all like went and was gone. All the energy was out of my body, and I'm trying to like, I guess, heal enough until I have it back, and it seems like that's, it's about now. Like I feel kind of motivated to actually pick up some of these projects and document them. Like I've done a lot of things, even though I haven't been talking about those things, like making cows and purses and noodle things and Carl things and whatever. And I've been writing a lot, and I've been drawing a lot. I just have to actually publish. So I don't know what my aversion to publishing stuff is right now, but I need to get back on the horse. And Mark is a pizza.
What?
I don't know. What else do you want to talk about? Do we have anything to talk about? How are you guys? Do you guys have anything to talk about? Have you made anything in the past 4 or 5 months of hell-scape that you want to chat about? So I've had weird habits. Like my habits have been weird. Really, really weird. And like obsessive lately. Like all I've done this whole month is draw. Like I've been waking up at like 7 in the morning and just drawing all day for the entire day, which is good. That's my happy space, is like to just sit and draw forever. But like I don't know, Noodle feels neglected, and so do all my other kids. Yeah, that's nice to see you guys. I'll try and do this more often. I mentioned earlier in the stream that I'm going to try and paint or just draw, since I am drawing. I'm going to probably get another tablet here soon, because I've been using, like, this thing for, like, my entire adult life, and it's great, but I mentioned this before, I'm sure I've damaged myself, like, irreparably by looking at the screen while drawing in my lap, which is not where I'm looking. There's like some disconnect between the two now, and I'm really good at it. Like, I got over it. It took me my whole life, but it'll be really nice to actually draw on the thing that, or look at the thing I'm drawing on, finally, again. So now that I'm like compulsively working on the Zonus story, finally, I might stream some of that, maybe after I publish the first like chunk of it. I think I'm 10 pages into it now. So I'll probably push out the first 20 or so once I get them done, and then I'll start streaming the doing. Pick up Gravity Road. And Noodle. Noodle wants to know how his torch is. How's the torch?
I got to the point last night where it's asking for the image files, so the actual code seems to run up to the point where it thinks it needs the actual file. So when I'm done with this other project, we can test images in.
Noodle's learning how to recognize COVID. So I made a COVID repository. I collected all the shit in the house that looks kind of like a COVID, which is like a surprising amount of stuff in this house, or my stuff. I have a bunch of COVID-looking stuff. Like, I have this entire, like, carpet. This is Noodle's Toft bow. I have this carpet. That's one of Noodle's other Toft bows. I think this is just like a duster. And then I have like these squishy, like disease-looking things. I have like tiny little like green spiky balls. There's a ton of stuff in here that looks green and spiky just by coincidence, by virtue of like me, for whatever reason, being like drawn towards textured green shit. So I took a bunch of pictures and I actually put together a data set that is specifically this stuff. So I'm hoping that there's enough variation that he'll be able to look at things like sunflowers or, I don't know, it's just other spiky bald type things and recognize them and mistake them as COVID so that he too can be paranoid about COVID like his parents and all other humans for that matter. And then he needs to learn how to actually see pizza because he's had pizza blindness for like 3 years now, and I feel like a terrible parent that my kid can't actually recognize his favorite thing, which is pizza. And I'm just holding green stuff. And there's peas. Mark got me peas. Where did you get these?
What? No.
Peas.
I don't remember. Where did I get those in? Somebody gave those to me.
Noodle. It's like an edamame. Look, Mark, nice.
Did it pop out and go back in?
Yeah, you go in.
They're attached.
Can you imagine if like edamame actually went back in after he
Did to fight it?
you had to like. Oh my
in
god.
my mouth.
Oh my god, that's satisfying. Oh, they have little eyes. Oh shit. Oh, that's adorable. Oh my god. Look at that. Noodle. He says his bean friends have faces. I want sushi. Oh my god, I want sushi. God damn it. I want like 1,000 pieces of nigiri on my body. I can eat them off of myself. Yeah?
Yeah.
Just rub the umami Not the umami paste. I'm sorry.
Where did umami come from?
I need. Oh, I want ume paste. Umami paste. My stomach's growling as I talk about this. Okay. Okay, Sarah, that means it's time for you to end your stream and go make some food and have a drink with Mark in the yard. Oh god. I'm just gonna stim off of this for like the rest of the evening. like Mark.
What? No.
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Alright, guys. I was gonna design my next sign, but I'm not gonna do that yet because I've been talking for like 1,000 years now. Uh-oh, Micus, I have something to ask. Why is the sound all fuzzy and weird today? We were trying to fix the audio to my stream earlier, and everyone voted that like the built-in microphone with no filters on it sounded best because it was
Your fan is running in your computer at high speed because you're streaming.
there was ramping because it was trying to filter that out.
Yeah.
So anytime I spoke, it sounded like the ocean, people were saying. So I ended up just shutting everything off, and then this microphone's just shit, unfortunately.
I think you need to put it closer to your head than the computer, so you might have to put it behind you
Great.
to get that noise, but you'll have to test that. Just do some test things to the point where that is positioned like maybe up here over your head or some other way that it doesn't pick up the fan noise.
Maybe I can put a fuzzy thing over it.
You have to do
Sock.
that's wind. That's just when you make S sounds. That's what that's for.
Alright.
Because that thing that you have there is a sock. You just need to position it so that it's not picking up the fan. So there's probably directionality to your microphone versus your mouth. So you might be able to find a position.
Thank you, TH. I'm glad that you liked my doing my rambling, my showing. I wish it went a little bit smoother, but whatever. There's always something that happens that you can't foresee. Is there a particular type of pizza that needs to be recognized? No, I just, when we did the first data set with pizza 2 years ago, because of the way that I made it and because of the background in the pizza pictures, he could only see pizza if I was in the picture. Because I was always in the pictures with the pizza, so there's like a relation between pizza and me, which is weird. So like, anytime somebody held up his pizza in the art gallery, like, he couldn't see it, but if I stood behind the person, then suddenly like the pizza recognition would go up to like 98% and he'd be like, that's pizza. But I had to be there. He had like, I don't know, I helped boost his confidence, I guess. The ocean was there because there was a filter that was trying to cancel out the hissing, and it was ramping into my audio from just filtering it out, which is like I don't know, it's a thing that happens when you try to correct audio that isn't perfect. I don't know, I'll figure it out before the next stream, I guess. I'm gonna try and figure out how to get this thing working, because that's why I have it. It's here for streaming. It just needs to not suck. I just stick it like inside of my head and like moan into it. Alright, Mark, do you want to have a beer with me?
Yeah.
Outside?
Then tacos.
Beer feet pizza tacos?
Then tacos.
Yeah? Alright, guys. Thank you for keeping me company. It's good to catch up and feel kind of normal again with everyone. Like, keep making stuff out there. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Don't spend too much time doom scrolling, because that's what I do. That's what me and Mark do, and we're neurotic as hell, so don't be like us. Keep reading. Reading is important. Say hi to all of your friends. reach out to people who you haven't spoken to in a while and just reconnect and heal. Use this as like an opportunity to just step back and really reevaluate things. I think that's the healthiest thing I can say, the best thing I can say. The only advice that I can possibly, what's the word? Part? But yeah, take care, guys. And yeah, I think the next, I don't know, what should I do for my next stream, Mark? Pick something. Anything.
Some other items?
Should we design a board? You want to sit with me and drink and design
What
a
are
board?
you going to make the board do?
Anything.
Maybe with 4-way.
No, I gotta do my 555, like screen.
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Do that.
I'm gonna make a theremin board, maybe. Or I'll draw. One of the two. So until I get to board design or drawing or oil painting or
You could do it.
whatever, or any of those things, keep making awesome stuff out there. Stay safe. Stay happy and optimistic. Or try to. Or don't. I don't know. But yeah, keep living. And I'll talk to you later. Yeah. See ya. Mark says bye too.
Goodbye.
How do I end this now? Oh god. No. It took me 20 minutes to get it started today. True story. Oh god. Hate. It's still going. Fuck. Stop.